This is something personal to me. My daughter is on the spectrum.
Yeah.
She's autistic. She's getting better and better and better. She's still not talking. We're working on that. We got a lot of people helping us work on that. Uh,
Mhm.
as I've said before on this show, on my other shows, my daughter, I've been told over and over again that autistic children don't produce what's it called? Serotonin,
Yeah.
and
What? Sorry,
therefore
say
they.
that again. They don't produce it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I've been told. I can't wait to hear that this is a lie. That they don't produce serotonin, which is why she doesn't go to sleep. She just pulls all night ragers. Like, I'm not even kidding when I tell you, like, it's like I'm like this is the same energy I got and when I used to be at a Coke party. The way
Mm.
this
But
kid
it's
is,
a
or
melatonin thing too, though, right? Are you talking about serotonin here? Because I know melatonin too is
oh
supposed
yeah,
to
that's
with
it.
autism.
Okay, I messed up here. All
Well,
right, so here we
serotonin, I
go.
think they're supposed to be low in serotonin also, but I think melatonin they don't release it like the right times or something. Some
Yeah.
Yeah,
people.
so
So
I got that wrong. Serotonin, melatonin. What's the difference between those two?
so serotonin gets turned into it's the pathways to get turned into melatonin.
Okay, so I'm not
Yeah.
far off.
So you don't know, you're not far, but in fact, you this is something I looked into fairly recently, and the thing is when they a lot in a lot of the research when they say serotonin is quote unquote low, they're looking at a metabolite of serotonin called 5-HIIA, 5-hydroxy indole acetic acid, and they're saying there that's low, therefore serotonin is low. But what's more likely the case is that it's low because there's a buildup of serotonin and it's not being broken down, right? So it could be certain enzymes like the MAO, certain genetic polymorphisms, could be cofactors missing like copper, riboflavin B2 and stuff like that. I actually have researchers that I respect have my understanding is that serotonin is actually high in autism, and there was, at least I can send you the study. There was a study where I think they used a couple of drugs, but one of the drugs they used is called cyproheptadine, which is a serotonin antagonist, and that actually helped to there was an improvement in the kids in the study. But here's the thing: this cyproheptadine is also, some people use it, some doctors use it off label for insomnia, for psychosis, for a lot of things where actually serotonin is high. So if someone cannot sleep at night, it's not about melatonin. It's not about making melatonin or whatever else. It's actually, I would probably say that person has a lot of serotonin. And the more I looked into it, the more I've seen a lot of my clients actually have a high serotonin issue, and that is been found to be high in depression, not low, and it's causing a lot of anxiety type stuff, psychosis type stuff, and a slew of other horrific health problems. If you want to unpack that, we can.
Yeah, I do, because I would like to know what are your suggestions for that?
So what I would personally, what I would do, this is not medical advice to you, okay? Because first of all, I believe cyproheptadine. Yeah, I think it's possible to get in the USA. It's not over the counter. I get mine. Actually, I've experimented out with that myself personally because I think I was a high serotonin type in the past. But what I would do is I would talk to my a good smart doctor and talk about potentially trialing cyproheptadine, which is it's an antihistamine that has a serotonin blocking effect, and I would do that, and I would make sure that a lot of it actually. By the way, another psyop I found out is when I wrote my autism book, they were talking about copper toxicity, how that's such a huge issue, copper overload. Turns out the guy who's still alive, a great guy, but the guy that kind of I learned that from, his two mentors that he learned the most from, they were both like involved in MK Ultra, dude.
Oh
They
my
were like
God.
administering LSD and stuff to the people. So that's, I actually removed it from the new edition of the book. The whole copper overload thing, I don't actually think that's an issue. I think a lot of people are actually low on copper. What that does is you can't produce more the dopamine side of things, the dopamine, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and when dopamine is low, serotonin goes up. It's like cortisol and T. They kind of seesaw up and down. So with a person like that, we want to see if a serotonin antagonist actually helps them sleep, which dude, it will. Like I'm 99 million% sure it would help. If that's the case, it's clearly a high serotonin issue, which is actually a big problem for a lot, because remember, a lot of moms are on SSRIs. Remember that. And 90% of the serotonin is made in the gut, and autistic kids have a lot of gut problems. So when the gut is disturbed, that serotonin gets released from the gut. It can be absorbed into the body, and it can wreak havoc because you need tiny amounts of serotonin. I mean, this cyproheptadine, yeah, I get mine in 4 milligram tablets, dude. I break off a quarter. I take a milligram, and that's enough to help you sleep like a baby for 11 hours. So you need a tiny amount of serotonin, and the gut can produce a ton of it. So that's what I would do. If that's the case, then you wanna work on boosting dopamine, get the B vitamins in to make sure that serotonin is being processed. That's a start. And by the way, remember I offered last year, if you want to run lab tests, I've worked with some very complex autism cases. I got one kid, he's like 7 now, still nonverbal, but when they started working with me, the parents, in February, he's now actually becoming verbal. He's actually like he's in school now. So I've worked with some very serious cases. So I will move mountains for you in terms of like lab testing, advising, helping helping you help your kids, you know. So just saying that
That'd be
offers on the
great.
table anytime, man.
I'll talk to you after the show.
Yeah.
I think I have your number, but I'll make sure I get it,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
we'll go from there. So listen, so obviously I meant to say melatonin, not serotonin. So sorry to everybody about that. Daddy just got off a plane and I'm illiterate. So what are you thinking that I should give my daughter? Like what do you think I should do to help her sleep? Because
So
sometimes she'll hit the sack, and then just someday we call it the giggle monster. She gets
yeah.
the giggle monsters, and she is up all night. And I'm not
Does
lying
she
to you. I
giggle a
gotta
lot?
what?
Does she giggle?
Oh, she's a giggler. Oh, please don't tell me this is a sign of even worse stuff. But yeah,
Mm.
do we know when she's getting super giggly that she's gonna go on an she's ready to go all night.
So have you done any candida neurotransmitter testing, stuff like that, stool testing? Have you done any of that stuff?
No, no.
So, dude, okay, so listen, we have to do a battery of tests. It will be the best couple of grand you will spend. So, just as an example, with this nonverbal 6, 7 year old kid I was talking about, he is a giggler as well. We did neurotransmitters. It's insane. Like a bunch of stuff high, a bunch of stuff low. Like so things like glutamate, stuff like that. But what I found is, first of all, I don't use melatonin anymore for any purpose with anybody because it's related to the serotonin metabolism, which is not good. Okay. So I actually took that out of the book as well, by the way. All melatonin related info. I just like don't even like tell people about it anymore. What we do is we use several different, usually amino acids, minerals, very very basic things that the body requires that can be very helpful, very therapeutic. So glycine, that's inhibitory. Theanine, that's also kind of calming and relaxing. GABA, that's another calming and relaxing. So and taurine. So these four, some combination of them is what we use with clients to, if the child is very hyperactive during the day, it can help to stabilize them. If they're doing the giggling thing at night, it can help them sleep. Actually, with glycine is so effective for one of my clients that he said, I cannot give my son glycine during the day because he gets like super sleepy. But I told him, well, great that you have that, because for some kids don't respond at all to anything, so you have to then think even harder. So glycine during the day can just, it's not super sedating. GABA can be more sedating for sleep. Theanine during the day is calming. So if someone, like I'm more ADHD tendency, that really calms me down during the day. And then taurine is a like a very versatile morning, night. So I would try combination of those four. But if you're not doing basic supplementation like B vitamins, if you've not done a stool test, because candida can be high in a lot of kids, and that can actually be a reason why they're giggly. So if you haven't done urine testing, stool testing to see what pathogens, if any, are there, usually there are a number. So I can guide you through all of this. If again, I'm not pushing, but like I said, any amount of time that you require, any lab test, any interpretation, you can absolutely count on me, dude. Genuinely, I want to do it. I would love to help.
I appreciate that, and I'll make sure when we're done, I get your number. We could discuss it. You know,
Yeah.
not to get too far into the autism thing. What do you think causes some kids to not talk?
That one I've been kind of researching on and off since about 2020 when I published the autism book. I honestly am not sure. I think there's sort of critical brain stages that are required for all the things that the nervous system does, right? And at a certain point, if certain nutrients are missing, or there's certain stressors or certain bacterial toxins or toxins from the environment, they can disrupt that stage. So it's obviously a very complex thing, but I think that is probably a big reason why some kids have delays. Is just not the thing is, kids don't eat a lot of food, and it's very hard to get the food into them. So unless you're like truly going out of your way to get the most nutrient dense diet and adding supplements on top, I think a lot of kids out there, they're not showing deficits, but they're definitely not in their optimal, if you know what I mean. And it's just becoming more and more pronounced because there's more vaccines, more toxins, more stress, more EMFs. So you have to, dude. I've been giving my daughter this gut cleansing herbal mix since maybe she was like 6 or 8 months, and I'm giving her certain fat soluble vitamins now to kind of protect her from polyunsaturated fats, to help with bone development. So you got to start early, and you have to be really stay on top of things. And if you're if you're doing like co-parenting stuff like that, then you have to um help the other parent make sure the stuff is getting sent to them, make sure they know what to give them when. And when you see the kids, make sure I buy a lot of things that are topical and droppers. So I just tell my daughter, open your mouth, squirt some iodine, open your mouth, some whatever, zinc. And I'm constantly staying on top of it, and every day I'm thinking, okay, she's gonna be in school, they might eat some crap, let me give her something to support the detox system. If you don't make this a habit and get a little bit more sophisticated, and not you, but in general, a person, if you
Right.
don't become a more sophisticated person in terms of looking after your health, other than just buying groceries and making meals, you are gonna succumb to the modern world. And this is what I teach my clients in my health and longevity program. In 6 to 12 months that you work with me, you learn everything from diet, detoxing, gut health, optimizing sleep, every single thing you need. And then you can do that with your partner, with your kids. So you then can teach the others around you. And this is how we're gonna change things, man.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm excited to talk to you, and I would love to get you on the phone with Dana too. She's really good at understanding everything. So yeah, I'd
I
love to have
can
you.
tell you one thing that would be awesome, because I know your kids are probably like 5, 6 now, right?
They're
Ish.
4.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a test where it's a food sensitivity test, but it's not like your run-of-the-mill test where they look for IgG antibodies. They take the blood, so we get the kit shipped to the person's address. They go to a clinic, they get some blood, and then that gets sent to the clinic, and then they take the blood and they expose all the different foods and various chemicals found in the food supply, and then they measure the immune response to the food. And we do this with my adult clients as well, so very quickly which foods are like red and yellow, so super inflammatory for you. And everybody has a couple that are red, I've seen, and a few yellows. So if you do that and immediately remove those yellows and reds, that alone is going to lower so much inflammation. And a lot of, by the way, another, just to go back to that non-verbal stuff, I believe a lot of the stuff in terms of sort of developmental deficits or whatever, it has to do with this undercurrent of chronic inflammation. So this kind of test that we do, this was a game changer for a lot of clients, man, because you are immediately lowering inflammation to as much as it can be lowered, at least from food. Because remember that a lot of these reds, they're red because you're eating them every day. So it's like a double whammy. The things that are most inflammatory are staples. Like I had one client, he was on the corn every day. Another client loved chicken, and she was eating chicken every day. So that alone, just that one test is a game changer. But we can, like I said, stew, oxidative stress, vitamins, minerals, all of that stuff, like for 12, 13, $1,400, we could get so much data that, you know, in a year's time, having tweaked all the little things that we need to tweak, that child's life trajectory, or any human really, is just, you've gone from, you know, 60-70% of their potential in this toxic world to potentially 80-90 plus, as long as you teach them how to maintain this trajectory basically as they grow up, really.
I'm excited to talk to you off camera.